Working on the railroad is like no other job. With it comes its own challenges and rewards. And although this roadway work group are all on the same job, many of them have different functions, depending on what they're qualified to do and what they're required to do. Every employee on this job site must be qualified as a roadway worker. Being a qualified roadway worker means that you've been trained and know what kind of on-track safety is required when working on or near the track. Knowing the basic on-track safety rules also means that you understand the roles of other roadway workers, so you can work safely together as a team, follow their instructions regarding on-track safety, and recognize any directions they might give you that are important to your safety. Together, you form a roadway work group, a team of trained and qualified roadway workers.
I need Bobby to get that lock off this switch.
In some roadway work groups, a designated roadway worker may work as a flagman. Flagmen are qualified in the operating rules of the railway that enable them to provide on-track safety by stopping trains and preventing them from entering the working limits on your job site. Sometimes it is not possible or practical to stop trains from entering the working limits. In these situations, roadway workers on or near the track must be warned of approaching trains or equipment. A watchman lookout is a roadway worker who is qualified by the railroad to provide on-track safety for another roadway worker. Watchman lookouts take up a position that enables them to see an approaching train from an adequate distance. This enables them to warn one or more roadway workers so that they can move to a safe position clear of the track well before the train arrives. Not all jobs require a roadway work group. As the name suggests, a lone worker is a roadway worker who is qualified to work alone on the track. Because there's no one to warn them of approaching trains, a lone worker is familiar with the various procedures for on-track safety when working alone, and the type of work they are and are not permitted to do as a lone worker. Roadway workers and roadway maintenance machines must often work together at close quarters. So not only must a roadway maintenance machine operator be trained and qualified in the operation of machinery, they must also be qualified in operating their machine safely when working near other machinery and other roadway workers. Railroad maintenance machine operators are responsible for making sure that no part of their machine can hit a roadway worker, other machines, or passing trains. An employee in charge is a roadway worker who is trained and qualified in the operating rules of the railway, enabling them to provide on-track safety. Like a foreman, an employee in charge is responsible for the safety of all the roadway workers on the job site. They must ensure that each roadway worker knows what kind of on-track safety is being provided, how it works, and that any roadway workers designated as flagmen or watchman lookouts are doing their job safely as well. From a control center, often far from your working limits, train dispatchers are railroad employees who control the movement of trains on specific segments of track, using signal lights, or directly communicating with the train crews. On certain types of track, train dispatchers can prevent trains from moving into your working limits so that your roadway work group can get the job done safely. Like a train dispatcher, a control operator also works at a distance, usually in a yard tower or at a traffic control desk. Although control operators do not directly control trains, they can control their movement through remote control switches and other signaling devices that can prevent a train from moving into your working limits. Although all the people on a work crew or track gang may have different roles and responsibilities, they all share one common goal: getting the job done efficiently and safely, so that everyone makes it home safe and sound at the end of the shift.